special young author. I don't know, there's probably some authors in our audience right here. There's probably other people who always thought about, wow, wouldn't it be cool to write a book? Well, Alexa Wilcox can already knock that off her bucket list because at the age of 12, she started writing this book. It's called Aqua Jewel, and it was a Christmas gift for her mother. Well, now she is 14, and she's got this self-published book here to talk about here today and on Word in the Street. So just a great accomplishment on your part. Congratulations, Alexa.
Thank you.
Let's tell folks a little bit about what the story of this book is. I've got a paragraph here, I'm just going to read it quickly. Once a year in Mencia, every 13-year-old has a chance to gain a talent. You could have the power to fly or to become invisible. You might be telepathic or telekinetic. There's such a wide variety, but there is a catch. If you are untalented, you are exiled from Mencia. On the day of her talent gaining, Lexa is given an old family heirloom, a beautiful blue necklace, as a present from her proud mother. Only when disaster strikes does Lexa realize that the necklace contains more power than she could have ever imagined and could very well have enough to save many lives. But is it already too late? So that is the premise of the book, and maybe we should just start by telling us a little bit more about how you came up with the idea. Is this something that you've been thinking about a long time? How did you come up?
So I actually I got my first ideas when I was 10 years old, and from playing around with my sisters with the Halloween costumes in Halloween. And at that point we were really into making movies with iMovie, so I actually wanted to make it like a movie. But then I completely forgot about it a few days later. And then a year passed and I started thinking about it again. And I got a few more ideas, and that when I was 11, we were playing outside in the snow, and I got the idea for a globe that could give powers to people, because we made a globe out of snow and it gave us snow powers, and so that was really fun. And yeah, I just kept getting more ideas for it, and then decided to start writing.
So you just sort of collected these ideas over time, and then, but from the start, were you thinking, wow, I want to make a novel out of this, or was that something that kind of came later?
That was something that came when I was 12. When I first started writing it, I had it planned to be a novel, but I mean, obviously not a really big novel, but it actually turned into something, so that was very cool.
So what was that like? I mean, people talk about writer's cramp all the time. It's daunting to start. What was it like to start the process?
Well, I just started, I don't know, I was excited to start, so I wrote 2 chapters, and then my dad started asking, he told us to start thinking about what we wanted to give our mom for Christmas, and this was in September. So I said, I want to write a book. And he was like, okay. And I said, well, I already started it. Here, look. So he read the first 2 chapters, and he really liked it. So I said, oh, well, maybe I've got something. So then the next day, I planned out how I wanted the rest of the book to go, and I went for it. And I was writing a lot, because I only had 3 months until Christmas, and I did finish it for Christmas.
You did?
Yeah.
How did Mom like her Christmas gift? She's in the audience. That's a great gift. So what, 30,000 words in this? How many words are in this?
32,000.
And so then you just have to go through the whole publishing process, right? You've got to decide, well, first of all, you got to keep tight on the structure, right?
Yeah.
What was that like? Because this, I'm assuming, by far would be the longest thing you've ever written.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've always, in school, we've always written like short stories, and I've always had trouble making my short story short. So I knew I didn't want to write a short story.
And so did you self-edit, and then published it? Like, how many times did you go through and say, I wrote that, don't like it, go back, fix it, change it?
Yeah, so I must have gone through, I think 3 times by myself, because I improved a lot over that year just from writing more other than just at school. So I look back at the stuff that I've written months ago and was like, what is this? So then I rewrote entire chapters, and I had printed out the whole book, and in pen I'd like scratched out all these pages and written on the sides and around it the new chapters, and I did that a few times.
And then you self-published. So what did it feel like when you finally had the book in your hand? You said, wow, I've done it. I'm an author.
That was an amazing feeling. I think I just stared at it for a long time, because I've always loved books, and just like to look inside of it and see my own words there, and it's in this like a real book. It was just amazing.
Do you come from a family of writers?
No, not that I know of. I'm the only one.
Yeah. So where do you think that passion came from?
Well, yeah, I've always loved books. My mom read to me a lot ever since I was really young, and I've learned to read pretty young, apparently, and yeah, I've always loved stories, and it's one of my favorite things in the world.
Well, you've been already rewarded for your efforts, because you've been recently awarded a gold leaf in the Scholastic Arts and Writing competition. So congratulations there.
Thank you.
Nicely done. And now here you are on Word on the Street. So I'm wondering if anybody in the audience has any questions for the author. Anybody want to know? I mean, I see some young faces down there, and I see more mature faces. Does anybody have a question about her book? How she went about writing it? Those kinds of things? Yeah, okay. So the question is, do you have other ideas for your next book?
Yeah, I've already started it. I've planned a series of 6 books, starting with this one. Each one is from the point of view of one of the 6 main characters who are introduced in Aqua Jewel. And I'm currently working on chapter 10 from book 2.
Excellent. So on the self-publishing front, how hard is that? What do you have to do to get it published?
I was self-published through CreateSpace, but I actually didn't do very much of that because my dad handled that.
Yeah? The business manager. Tell me about the picture on the front of the book. There's a nice story behind that.
Yeah, so my dad gave me that for my birthday, the picture on the front. He got somebody to do it, and he printed it out just on a piece of paper and gave it to me in like an envelope for my birthday. And I had no idea what it was, and I opened it, and I went, and I could not stop looking at it, and I put it up like on my music stand in my room, and I stared at it for the next few days.
That's worth mentioning. You're a multi-talented person. You're an author, but you're also heavily involved in music and dance, right?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
So, yeah, I dance at Maritime Dance Academy, and I've been dancing since I was like 3 years old, so I do that a lot. It takes up a lot of my time, so it's hard to put writing in there as well, but I'm managing it, I guess.
Does that partly explain the picture on the front and the why you were so taken by that picture? She looks like she's a ballerina doing a nice twirl.
Yeah, she does.
No?
It's just pretty.
Yeah. So what's your advice to other folks, I mean, who may want to try to do this? You know, you've gone through it once now, you're going to be going through it again as you complete the series. Are there some tips, starting points, just about writing itself, that you think might be helpful for people?
I guess just there's no end to your imagination. I write, I mean, different people write differently. I have to have everything planned out, because if I don't plan everything out, even the chapters, so I've planned out what's going to happen in each of my chapters, but then I've also gone back and I've put my each chapter into segments and written down what's going to happen in each of those, so I know what's going to happen in almost down to the second, so that I'm not staring just at my paper or at the computer screen for a long time, because I do that if I don't know what's going to happen. But everybody writes differently. And
What authors do you admire?
my favorite author is J.K. Rowling. But,
Read all the books? Yeah.
several times. I'm currently reading The Chamber of Secrets for the 4th time.
So you're a student, you're 14 years old, and you're at Madeline Simon's Middle School in Hammonds Plains. What do your classmates think about the fact that you've got a book to your name?
They think it's really cool, I guess. A few of them have bought the book, and they're my fans.
What's the age group that you're looking to hit with this?
It's for middle readers, I think it's called. So ages 8 to 12 is probably who would really like it the best.
Right.
Those are people who've come back to me and said they've really liked it or are around that age. So.
Good. All right, anybody else have any questions for Alexa? Here's one right there. Go ahead.
How do you stay motivated to write over the summer?
How do you stay motivated to write over the summer?
I actually did not want to write over the summer, but my dad made me. But I'm glad I did, because I got stuff done, and it's amazing looking back at what you've done and thinking, wow, I did that. That's my work.
How many hours do you put in, do you think? In a week, how many hours would you spend banging away at a computer?
This summer, it's the last few weeks of summer, I went to my dad's office almost every day, and I stayed there. It was probably like five or 6 hours. And I guess because there's nothing else to do, because at home you get distracted, and I'm like, oh, I wonder what's there.
Yeah. What's going on outside?
Yeah, what are my sisters doing? So I got a lot done, but I guess it just depends from day to day if I feel motivated to write, because you can't sit down and write if you don't feel like writing. It just doesn't work that way.
How do you feel about people reading your stuff while you're going through the process? Or do you want to kind of keep it to yourself for the first little while?
I'm actually pretty good at. I like to hear other people's opinions, just so that I know I'm on the right track and I'm not way off and nobody can understand what's happening before I get all the way through the book and then have to rewrite it, which I suppose I'm going to do anyway because editing. But
And whose opinions do you trust the most, Mom and Dad?
well, yeah, but at the same time they're my parents, so they're going to say it's great no matter what. So I try to get just like my friends and, well, just as many people as possible to go over it for me.
Excellent. Any other questions from the crowd? Yes, right here.
Comment, not a question. I love what you said, Alexa. I love when you said that you plan out your chapters. It's very evident when reading your book that it's so fast moving. There's so much happening, and I can tell that it's well planned. Like how you keep on track with the events that are happening. I mean, so much happens, and with the children, so many to deal with. It's wonderful how you work that out in your plan.
So the importance of planning chapter by chapter to keep you on track must give you a lot of assurance and confidence, I guess, to keep you going in the right direction.
Yeah. So I know what's going to happen, and I'm not completely in the dark like everyone else.
All right, anybody else have another question? No? All right. So where can people get this?
Um,
Are there book signing? Will there be a book
Yeah.
signing right now?
I think there's a book signing. They're inside. Yeah.
Inside, okay. Inside the front doors here.
Just in the front doors to your left is where I'm going to take Alexa, and her books will be there, and she can sign it. You purchase a copy, and Alexa will sign it.
Excellent. All right. So before we let Alexa go, anybody else have another question for her, or do we just wish her well with her next book coming out soon, I assume? Yeah? Well, Alexa, congratulations.
Thank you.
A very fine teaching.